Welcome to Unhinged Magi!
Alright, we're back.
We are.
It sounds like we're going to have a good time because we're going to be talking about money.
We are.
And cards.
And why we're confident in the money in these cards.
That's right. And why we think we're going to not be broke after a while.
Well, probably ever with this.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So why we don't think these are going to go down in value.
Exactly. Well, they could go down in value, but not by much, and then they'll come back up.
Yeah.
That's the expectation.
We're not worried.
We're not worried.
Yeah. Gangster. So gangster.
That's right.
Okay, so yes, apologies in advance. This video is a bit of a flex, but it's not for the purposes of flexing. The purposes of this is to show you that we're putting our money where our mouth is. That we actually believe in what we're actually talking about when we give you this garbage over this stupid camera that I'm talking to right now.
That's right. We're not really talking over the camera. The camera's sitting right in front of us.
Yeah, actually I'm kind of talking right at the camera.
Yeah, you are.
Let me just hold that bit open. Now I'm going to talk at the camera. There we go.
That's right. And you know when you're talking at a camera, it has a view screen, so you can actually see yourself.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
So
it's like watching yourself on a little tiny TV set. Except you look about this big.
It's very distracting. It's hard to look at that and not that.
That's
because
right.
I keep on doing that.
Because I want to talk to myself. It's a really weird thing. I have really intelligent conversations with myself. I don't really respond very well. But
I've heard it's only ever a problem if you answer yourself.
Yeah, that could be a weird problem.
Yeah. So the interesting thing that we've got here is we'll turn the camera around in a second and we'll show you the cards that we're actually referring to. But yeah, the big point is that both of us over the years have been buying cards for quite a while. We've been trading into certain cards for quite a while. We have a decent amount of our net worth invested in these cards that are laying on the table. And I own stocks and real estate and all those basic kinds of investments. And I'm worried about all of those more than I'm actually worried about these. That's the point of the video.
It's true. I don't really worry about these because I like them, enjoy them. They're fun. Mm-hmm. And they maintain their value, and they seem to be continually increasing in price, even at an inflationary rate and even greater than inflationary rate.
Okay, so Dan, what are your top reasons of why you're secure in your investment in these cards?
Well, when I actually buy one of the cards, like I've actually bought this one, right? I know it's not really going to deflate or increase in value. It will increase in value over time. However, I just, as more people want them or want them to display them or they want to actually literally use them, the increase in demand always increases. It doesn't seem to decrease. I've never seen anything like it. It's fascinating. So I bought this, right? This is an actual Alpha Pearl 10. It'll always continue to increase in value, right? I actually paid money for it. I didn't trade into it or anything.
I've actually even run into people that said things like, I don't believe people actually buy those old cards. They just list them and pretend. There's actually people that think that.
Well, that's because most of the selling and buying happens behind closed doors. However, if you actually watch some of the auctions, you see that they actually sell, like in PWCC is a very good, strong example, where they list thousands of cards every week that are in old school, and you can actually follow the trends and values of prices. So you can actually see how much their market value is. Mm-hmm. And inside of any auction, you can actually, so an auction is market value, right? Mm-hmm. That is what two people going into a store will pay for it.
You can also look at the completed auctions on eBay if you wanted to see that people are actually buying and selling them.
That's true. However, they put the slash mark on there with the make offer. That's why I don't usually use that.
Yeah.
I only use the actual ending value of actual auction price to determine real value.
Good point.
There's a difference between actual market value and actual retail value. Because if you actually go to a store, you're probably going to end up paying more. But if you actually get part of an auction, then you'll actually probably be able to get a better deal. Problem is, retail really monitors auction price so they can set their value so they don't get taken to hose down either. So.
Another thing that's interesting is you'll see when we turn the camera around that all of my cards are all in just Dragon Shield sleeves because I actually play them. So when you see cards buying and selling on eBay specifically, it's usually cards more like mine. A little bit more LP condition, unlimited versions, things like that. that are actually like transacting. The cards that Dan's going to show you, his are like actual graded ones at like high grades. They don't typically buy and sell on eBay as much because eBay and PayPal take such a large cut, and there's such a small amount of them that actually transact that it's not like you go out there and say like, okay, of all the millions of people in the world, I'd like to buy a BGS 9.5 Time Twister. It doesn't really work like that. There's only like a couple, and so you got to like be like point-to-point contact, and so people usually just make that contact between two people. They don't go to these like auction sites that take 15% or something garbage like that.
That's true.
And so you don't see a lot of those transactions on eBay and stuff like that.
No, you're never going to really see those transactions on eBay.
Yeah.
Because if it's not only just the actual value and price, but it's actually shipping a card that's so expensive to another person, and maybe you get hosed, you don't know, right? Because they could open a claim that you never sent the card and all that kind of stuff. So you're putting yourself at a big time risk for no apparent reason. But if a person contacts you out of the blue, then you guys can hook up a deal and maybe go through an escrow or something like that. Because if it's this expensive, you should go through a third-party escrow and then everybody's safe. Or if you actually know the person, you've met them before, you know who they are, you've already done background checks on them, and then you maybe be able to go ahead and do the deal. It's a thing. You really have to know the people.
So I'm actually going to grab the camera because I'm just going to quickly show you guys what's here just so you know what you're about to see. Then we'll talk a bit more, and then we'll go back more to explaining the cards. So here we go. Okay, now what we've got here is like these are my cards just sitting here inside of sleeves and stuff. And this is one of my main binders where I keep an awful lot of my cards that when I'm not playing with them.
Which is also very organized and really nice.
Yeah. So all the rest of the stuff here is Dan's stuff, and I'll let him speak to it.
Okay, so these are the most expensive cards.
Just kidding.
Sorry. So yeah, we got our thing that started our show, the Alpha Lotus and thing. I did not buy these necessarily at market price because obviously I opened them a long time ago for the channel. But I did buy the Black Lotus here. That's a grade 10. I did trade and money, and so I got these a long time ago. So this is the Alpha starter brick, and this is a Beta starter brick. And then these,
sealed still.
Well, not really. This one's not sealed.
Well, I mean, this part isn't, but all the packs inside are sealed.
Oh, yeah.
And these have never come out.
Right. And then this is ripped. I accidentally ripped that. That was my fault. But this I bought when it was $8,000. It's a Time Twister 10. I think there's still a Pop 2. So it's really increased in value. And I've had many offers on that. But I haven't taken any because I like Time Twister. Then I got my Time Bolts here. They're just basically graded cards. We got my Mox Pearls, Black, Mox Jets, you know, that kind of stuff.
That's a nice big one right there.
Yeah, I got a Sapphire 10. Bought that as well. The Pearl. Wish we could open one on the channel. This Mox Emerald we opened, and the Mox Ruby we opened on the channel as well. And then I bought this one. This is my most recent purchase.
I was actually really proud of this one.
Yeah. It's my Bad Moon. I brought it out here because it actually is my latest purchase of big cards. And you might not think that this is a big card, but it's a big card because it's a pristine 10 and it'll hold its value because it's a 10. That's the whole thing to it. And I got a pretty good deal on it. I'm not going to go over numbers.
Yeah, no need for it at the moment.
But yeah.
And these are the two, like that iconic video that he did a while ago, that the first big blow up when you opened the Alpha Lotus with the blue gloves and was shaking like crazy. It was these two cards right here.
Yeah, and I've kept them. I didn't sell them or anything like that.
Okay, so yeah, I was just going to do a quick one, but I guess we just went over it. So, but anyways.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's fine. So anyways, so yeah, the cards are there. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about why we feel so secure in that investment. Now, the Magic cards...
I'll hold up these Ancestrals.
Yeah. The cards themselves, as you guys know, it's like a really common knowledge. And I'll just say this for the people that aren't aware, which is probably not very many that actually are going to be watching this. But anyways, they're extremely rare because they were very limited print. And these, almost everything we have on this table... Actually, no, I think everything we have... No, not the Bad Moon. But almost everything on this table is a member of the reserved list. And most of his are actually graded, so they're authenticated, so you're not going to get a fake one or something like that.
Well, you can, but it's very rare.
Yeah. There's an awful lot that surrounds these just based on the rarity itself. And these are protected by Wizards of the Coast, who actually has the actual patent on collectible card games. And these were the original cards. Now you guys got to remember, these cards are the original collectible cards of all collectible card games. All of them started from Magic, and Magic started from these, so these are like it. Of the whole world of collectible card games, these are the originals, right? And these are the ones that everybody tries to like go for back later on. And you even have new players that come into Magic in newer formats, but then they eventually decide that all their newer cards are dropping in value and they want to go for something older. So even new people come finding their way to these cards and want to invest their money into them.
And the reason new players usually want to invest in them is so they can play. They start hearing about the Ancestral early on and the Black Lotus and all that kind of stuff, so that brings the intrigue, and then they see that. But also as they have either parents that played it and that kind of stuff, and their parents now have more money to be able to buy these cards. Now this is my 5.5 they got in 1993. It's an Ancestral. So good, right?
Yeah.
Condition 5/5. They plays the same as a 9. So you'll see a lot of the newer players buy the played condition cards because they play.
That's what all mine are. All these are all played condition. Well, most of them, anyways.
So there's nothing wrong with buying played condition cards, and I like that.
Yeah.
But the reason it's going to still push up in value is because the demand will increase over time as more
without an increased supply.
Right, without an increased supply. So there's never going to be an increased supply according to Wizards of the Coast. They're never going to break up the reserve list. They're not even going to print up tokens because, well, they're jerks. I mean, they can at least print up proxies and tokens, but no.
There was an awful long time where in Magic I started getting worried that old cards that I owned were going to eventually, like it was going to bubble out and drop in value. In fact, the big cards that I have, this is actually like the 4th time I've bought most of them. Because over the years I'd bought and then sold. Yeah. And every time, like when I sold, I made more money than actually when I bought them. And that was kind of the reason I sold them, is because I was like, I'm worried about having all this money invested. But then in the last like 5 or 6 years, there's many things that I've seen that it's just basically relaxed that entire kind of fear that these are ever going to go through like a massive sell-off drop again. Every drop I think is honestly just temporary.
Yeah, and as people get older, like, you know, we were playing in college, right? And so it's been 20 years plus, and then, right, 20 years plus? Or a little over 20 years?
It's about, for you, like 26 years.
Yeah.
For me, like 24 years.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been 26 years, and that means the people who were playing when didn't have money are now playing that actually have money, and so they can actually go out and spend more money. Because usually, I know this is going to kind of a shock for you, most people who play Magic the Gathering, most, not all, are actually very intelligent. And when people are very intelligent, they usually have higher paying jobs or able to make money in other ways.
Better at managing their money in general.
Correct, in general. And then that usually puts them into a position to be able to spend more money. And if you have a bunch of people that can spend more money, things go up in value.
There's also something to be said for inflation. Like right now, you've got world governments and central banks all over the world that are massively expanding their currency pools. And the people the people that are benefiting the most from this massive expansion of currency are the people that own the assets that are actually going up in price. The people that don't own any stocks or real estate or fine art or anything like that, they're not benefiting from inflation. They're actually getting hurt by it because prices they pay every day are going up.
Right.
But the people who own the assets that are inflating, those assets are going up in price.
Yeah.
And so it tends to be the case that a lot of the people that actually own a lot of these older original cards are also people that have not large net worth positions. And so they don't really have to sell the cards. And there's such a few amount of people that either own these cards and actually have that kind of like wealth. It's in financial terms, it's called strong hands. People that don't have to actually sell. And they want to own these cards. They have the ability to own these cards. And that greater inflation is bringing more money. The rich are in fact getting richer. It kind of sucks, honestly, to some degree. But it is actually happening. And these are the kinds of assets that they're actually buying. There's no indication I see right now of these actually going down in value. These are receiving the benefits of currency pool inflation.
True. I 100% agree with that statement. And so it's hard to capitalize on it, though. Because if you can't actually buy them now at their current price, then you're kind of out of the loop.
You're kind of locked out.
You're kind of locked
Which
out.
sucks for a lot of people.
It does, and
I don't get any joy from that whatsoever.
That's the real reason I kept printing. I kept talking about it on my CEO videos that they really need to do proxies and get them out there so people can actually play with them.
Yeah.
And
I'm a huge supporter of proxies as well.
I think that'd be fantastic. I mean, when you can have an unsanctioned tournament anytime in any. I mean, they had an unsanctioned old school tournament when we were in GP Vegas, right? It was unsanctioned.
Yep, and they allowed collector's edition, which was very cool.
There's no reason why WotC. Is it called WotC? I mean, it's called Wizard of the Coast, but I want to.
Everyone calls it WotC.
I don't know why people call it WotC, but that's
Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, but it's Watt. It shouldn't.
It's more like Watch.
Yeah, that's it. But anyway, sorry, I derailed. Sometimes I do that.
Squirrel.
Yeah, sorry, I derailed on a word. But anyways, really, they should really reprint the original set, the bigger cards inside tokens, and I think that would be great for the game, and I think it would increase it, and it would give people able to play it that couldn't play it before. And unsanctioned tournaments have happened, and there is no reason they can't do that.
And honestly, to set the record straight, actually, like both of us has spent several years now trying to tell people that this is actually coming. Pointing to these actual cards and saying they're not going to break the reserve list. These are going to go up in value.
Yes.
And that's to try to warn other people so they can have the chance to get these cards before they moved. In fact, if you go back at the earlier videos of my other channel, Edwin the Magic Engineer, I had several videos where I was just directly just saying that. These cards are going to go up. You need to get your hands on them, and now they did. And so, you know, it's kind of good and bad because it actually doesn't benefit me at all that they went up because I'm literally not planning on selling them. And so if they don't really go up in value, it's just money that's just sitting there. I'm not getting any benefit from things I'm not planning to sell at all. And for now, I'm actually on the negative side of it as well. I'm right there with you guys buying these cards. In fact, I just bought 4 Beta Stasis from a friend of mine. And I paid
not me this time.
Not him. Yeah. And I paid an awful lot of money for those 4 Beta Stasis. And actually, I bought like 6 cards together, 2 power artifacts also. But I paid a lot of money because like that's the current market price. So any card that I don't own yet, I'm having to pay those prices too.
And I'm going to have to buy played condition cards to play with Edwin because I'm not going to crack one of these out of a case.
I keep giving him a hard time about not playing with real cards when we play.
Crack this out of a case and
don't
say,
crack
hey,
it.
let's play with a PSA 10 Time Wolf.
Don't crack a 10.
Now, I might crack this one out, but I got the case signed by Mark Poole.
Well, he'll sign. Have him sign the card.
That's true.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
That would be pretty cool.
Having him actually sign the card. Because
So
that's your original Ancestral, right?
It is. It is.
That would be pretty cool.
But I'll have to take care of that later. But yeah, so a lot of I'm in the same boat with everybody else that I have to buy original cards.
Yeah, I actually had him sign mine. Got my pool signature on there. So anyways, that was the point of the video. So yes, we invest in stocks. Yes, we invest in real estate. Yes, like there's, you know, validity and many other things like tangible assets, like artwork, metals, cryptocurrencies, things like that. But of all of those, I actually definitely diversify. Like this is not all of my money goes into this. Definitely make it a small percentage, right? Get those others first, right? Get some cash on hand, pay off your debt, get some real estate, get some stocks, you know, definitely diversify. But I'll tell you straight up, I am not worried about the money I've got invested in these old original cards. But I would worry about the new cards.
Yeah, I would worry about the new cards too, depending on the set, depending on what they are, like if they're the foil version or the non-foil version. The non-foil version is probably going to be way less and will not attract more. But realize they're always going to print more.
Like what's about to happen here really soon with the enemy fetches.
Yep, and we're going to have a video on that itself.
Yep, stay tuned for that video, guys.
That's right. All right, hit the like button, subscribe, make a comment, and hit the bell. Ring the ding-a-ling.
Yeah, please ring that bell. Just crush that bell.
That's right. Make sure you make that thing... No, I'm not going to say that. That's just...
Make it ring.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Really bad.
We'll just say make it ring.
Yeah, let's just say that.
Okay,
all right.
bye everybody.
Bye everybody.